All right, let's dive into a topic that can be incredibly subtle but has a huge impact on our lives: psychological manipulation. You know, it's often this quiet force, this unsettling feeling you get long before you can actually put a name to it. So today, we're going to give it a name, and more importantly, show you how to see it coming.
Does this question hit home for you? It's that nagging feeling, right? That you always have to be careful, that one wrong move, one wrong word could just set someone off. It's your gut telling you that something isn't quite right, even if you can't logically explain why.
And this right here, this is what it feels like in action. I mean, think about it. You bring up a totally valid point, like, hey, I felt ignored when you were on your phone all through dinner. But somehow, 10 minutes later, you're the one saying sorry for being too needy or ruining the night. It leaves you feeling completely dizzy and confused.
Okay, so let's move from that confusing, dizzying feeling to some real clarity. What exactly is psychological manipulation?
Here's the deal. At its core, manipulation isn't just about someone bossing you around. It's way more subtle. It's about the clever use of words, the things they don't say, and their specific actions, all designed to get inside your head and control how you feel, what you think, and what you do. And this isn't just in romantic relationships. This can happen with family, with friends, even at work.
So, the big question is, how do you spot this in your own life? We're going to go through 6 key signs. Think of these as clues, like red flags that can help you see the dynamic in a relationship much more clearly.
Let's kick things off with the very first sign. And this one starts inside you. It starts with your gut.
You know that little voice in your head, the one that's screaming that something is off? Well, a key sign of manipulation is when you start to actively silence that voice. You tell yourself, oh, I'm just being too sensitive, or I'm probably overthinking this. You rationalize it away, maybe because you just don't want to rock the boat. Learning to trust that feeling again is your first best line of defense.
All right, on to clue number 2, which is all about this slow, creeping self-doubt. This is a big one. Manipulation can absolutely shred your confidence. You might have been a really sure of yourself person before, but now you find you're constantly second-guessing yourself, your memories, even your own intentions. That nagging self-doubt, it often comes from having your reality questioned over and over and over again.
Okay, sign number 3. This one has everything to do with your personal boundaries, or more accurately, the lack of them. Picture this. You've been working like crazy, and you finally get one day off. All you want to do is relax. But when you mention this to someone, they hit you with this disappointed sigh, and suddenly you feel so guilty that you end up spending your entire day off doing what they want. Sound familiar? That guilt is a powerful tool manipulators use to get you to cave.
Our fourth clue is a really subtle one: a gradual loss of who you are.
Have you ever kind of woken up one day and realized you don't do the things you used to love anymore? Maybe you stopped hanging out with certain friends, or you gave up a hobby, all because it was just easier than dealing with the argument or the silent treatment it caused. When you start shedding pieces of yourself just to keep the peace, that is a huge red flag.
And that brings us to sign number 5. This is when fear starts to run the show.
And look, this isn't always about being terrified. It's often this low-level hesitation. You find yourself thinking twice before you say yes to a party invitation, not because you don't want to go, but because you're already playing out the angry outburst or the cold shoulder you're going to have to deal with later. That hesitation is a form of control.
And finally, number 6. And honestly, this one can be the most destabilizing of them all.
This is the ultimate goal of tactics like gaslighting. When someone is constantly denying things they said or things they did, you can genuinely begin to doubt your own perception of reality. You start asking yourself, am I imagining things? Am I going crazy? But here's the kicker. It only seems to happen when you're around this one person. Okay, so we've got the signs, the what. Now let's talk about the how. What are the actual tactics manipulators use to make you feel this way? How do they do it? So let's connect the dots here. That feeling you have isn't random. It's often the direct result of a specific tactic. Take a look at that first one, feeling insecure. That could be triangulation. That's when they deliberately bring a third person into your dynamic, an ex, a coworker they always praise, to make you feel like you constantly have to compete for their approval. It's a total power play. Or what about that constant self-doubt? That's the classic result of gaslighting. And that deep-seated guilt, that's often because they're masterful at playing the victim, twisting things so you feel responsible for their bad day or their unhappiness. Let's make gaslighting super clear with this example. It's like a 3-step dance. Step 1, you state a simple fact from your memory. Hey, you said you hated Cancun, remember? Step 2, they flat out deny reality. Not just, I don't remember that, but I never said that. You're making things up again. And after this happens enough times, you get to step 3, you actually start to doubt your own mind. That is the destructive core of gaslighting.
Okay, recognizing all of this is half the battle. But what do you do about it? The most important thing to remember is this: you are not powerless. Let's go through a simple toolkit you can start using today to reclaim your ground.
First up, start paying attention to your own emotions. That knot in your stomach when they call, that's not random, it's data. Use it. Next, when you're in a conversation, stay on topic. Manipulators love to divert and confuse you. Don't let them. Then, it's time to set firm boundaries. It's never too late to say, this is not okay with me. And finally, use I statements. It's hard to argue with your feelings. Saying, I feel uncomfortable when you compare me to other people is powerful because it's your truth.
So, as we wrap all this up, I want to leave you with one final, really powerful idea. When you're dealing with this kind of behavior, it's so easy to feel like you're constantly being tested, like you have to say and do the perfect thing just to keep the peace.
And this is the whole point. This is the big shift in mindset. Your job in any relationship is not to twist yourself into a pretzel to prove that you're good enough for them. Your job is to observe their behavior and decide if they are worthy of your time, your energy, and your presence. The power to choose has been yours all along.